guys, I'm just gonna wait for a few people to get on. I'm going to be talking about the Whole30. I did a post earlier and kind of lead it into what I'm going to be talking about. So I recently bought this book, The Whole30. It is the 30-day guide to total health and food freedom. So I will be honest, the reason I bought this book was because my friend mentioned it. I love books, I love cookbooks, I love reading anything. And when my friend Reza said that she was buying this and thinking about doing it, I pretty much just spontaneously bought the book. It's nothing for me to randomly buy books off Amazon or Indigo and that kind of thing. So I went ahead and I purchased the book thinking, oh cool, it's going to be like a healthy eating, kind of clean eating kind of a book, which is what it looked like on the front cover. And I never did any research. I didn't know anything about it. And she mentioned to me one day when I was making pumpkin pancakes that she's going to have to make them again once she finishes the Whole30. And I thought, why can't you eat these? And then I thought, oh dear, what did I do? What did I buy? What am I committing to? I didn't even read anything about this. I have no clue what I'm thinking of signing up for. I just kind of thought it was like a way to eat cleaner, like I said. So what I've been doing over the last week or so, I've had this book now for a while, and I've been reading it and researching it and reading articles on the internet, watching YouTube videos, reviews, blog posts, you name it. I've been watching it or reading it and studying this book, tabbing it off, highlighting things, taking notes in my notebook. I'm like, okay, I want to know what this is all about before I actually commit to it and go public about it, because if you know me, I like to go public about things whenever I'm making a commitment. A big scary goal, I bring it out to the public because that's what holds me personally accountable, knowing that I've told someone about it, and it kind of gives me that extra motivation to stick to my goals. So anyway, what this is about, it's about changing how you think about food, your relationship with food, and different things like that. So the reason why the pumpkin pancakes, even though they were healthy, weren't allowed or weren't Whole30 compliant is because one of the rules, I guess, that's with this plan is that you don't try and recreate something that's unhealthy. And it really totally makes sense. At first I thought, why can't I make delicious paleo zucchini bread? It is so good, healthy ingredients, whole food, all these things, and I was like, why wouldn't I be allowed to make that? But it's because it tries to get you to think differently about the food. So instead of making a healthy cupcake, your brain is still going to perceive that as a cupcake. So you're still going to crave cupcakes, regular ones, whether they're healthy ones or regular ones. No matter what, by eating a healthier version of that, it's not going to change how your brain reacts when it sees a cupcake, or if you're in the office and you see something or that kind of thing. So that totally made sense to me once I read this through and read that section on that about, you know, changing how you feel and think about food, why you're having the cravings that you're having for certain foods, and how you can change it and take control of your appetite and what you eat and the type of foods, and really think about why you're eating the certain foods you're eating, right? So this is such an interesting read. Honestly, even if I decided not to do this, it was still so interesting to read up about and read through the book, and there's some really, really, really great recipes at the back of this book as well, which are really going to help. Even if I stuck to my portion control containers, which I love, and they've worked amazing for me. I'm at my goal weight with 21 Day Fix portion control, and I do plan on going back to that once I'm finished because it works for me. I feel amazing. So some people are wondering why I'm doing this. Why would I do this plan where you are eliminating sugar, you're eliminating grains, you're eliminating alcohol, you're eliminating legumes, you're eliminating dairy, which is one of my favorite things. So it's not a weight loss thing for me. I am so happy with where I am right now. It's ridiculous. I never thought I'd actually reach my goal and be able to maintain it and feel great, and I sleep well and I have energy, which are some of the reasons why people do this reset Whole30 plan. Personally, my goals are to see if there are certain foods that are in my diet, even though they're healthy foods, this book doesn't tell you that certain foods are bad, okay? It's not that like dairy is bad. It's just trigger foods, or people can have sensitivities to it and react differently to it, and maybe want to decrease their intake of a certain food category or type of food and that kind of thing. So you can really learn a lot about yourself, about your digestive system. It's ridiculous. I'm going to keep glancing down at this book because I have some certain things highlighted that I do want to share with you. So just bear with me. It's probably going to be about 20 minutes of this video, but there's some really important things that I want to share. So back to why I'm doing this personally. It's not for the weight loss at all. Can you lose weight on it? You can, but it's not the point, and they say that this is not the point. It is not for weight loss. It is to change how you feel about certain foods, reintroduce foods back into your system, into your diet once you eliminate them for a while, and then to really zone in and focus on how each type of food makes you feel. Really, really take good notes on it. So I will be journaling through this. I actually have a Facebook group created that I'm going to be posting into it. So if you want to be a part of that group, whether you're participating or not, and you're just curious on my journey and how I feel each day, there's going to be a lot of stages of going up and down and struggles, and I'm going to want to quit this, and I'm really going to do my best to stick to this as best as I can. But I want to, first off, try and eliminate the grains and dairy to see how my body responds to it, because I do know that the grains definitely cause me a lot more bloating when I don't have them. I'm on the second day of 3-day refresh and I feel incredible, and I haven't had any grains or dairy. Right? So just by doing a 3-day refresh, I already know that eliminating that for a couple days makes me feel so good. So it really makes me curious, right? I'm just doing an experiment, if you will, for the next 30 days on how my body adjusts to different types of foods. I have acne. I've always had acne. At times it flares up a lot worse than others. But I do consume a nice bit of dairy. So I'm really thinking that, or the grains or something like that, could also be a trigger for that. So the only way for me to find that out, because we do know how much food and fuel really, really affects our whole body. All these inflammatory foods that we eat, they cause our body to respond in a certain way, right? So that's why I really think I'm going to have some really positive results with my skin clearing up, by eliminating certain foods from my diet and then slowly reintroducing them back in, and see how my body kind of responds, if that makes sense. So this totally makes sense to me. This is totally crazy, I think, to be paleo, because it's kind of has a paleo framework to it. I think it would be insane to live your whole life like that, because there are too many things and joys with food and life and travel. And if you go to Italy, you're going to be eating pizza or beautiful pasta and having red wine. Like, there's certain things that is just part of your experience in life. But then there's also a lot of indulgences and a lot of foods that we overindulge on that our body necessarily doesn't need, that is causing negative side effects that we don't even realize it's doing to us. So again, it's an experiment. I'm investigating into this to see how, maybe eliminating some grains or reducing the grains, and also with the, sorry, there's something in my eye, with the dairy. I think dairy is going to be a huge thing in helping to clear my skin. At least I hope so. A lot of people have had amazing results from this, from the research that I did. And, oh my goodness, really, I think I have an eyelash in my eyeball. Let me flip ahead to some of the things. But yeah, some of the things that are related to the, oh, you gotta love live videos. It's awesome. Some of the things that are related to silent inflammation from foods that we eat could be things like acne, is one of the things listed there. Could be allergies, could be arthritis, asthma, bronchitis, cancer, celiac disease, circulation issues. I always have cold feet and hands, so I don't know if that could be something that could be helped from my diet necessarily. Dermatitis, diabetes, diverticulitis, infertility. I would love to have a child one day. We're investigating it too. My diet could be a big part of it. Maybe there's certain things that are, negatively impacting that. Or maybe there's things that I could be introducing more of that would better the chances of that, right? So why not investigate it? Joint pain is another thing. I have a pre-existing injury, and I often feel joint pain in that one joint from the injury keeps coming back and stuff like that. So again, Your diet impacts so many different ailments that you might have, and you might not even realize it, right to fibromyalgia, gingivitis, gout. It keeps going on and on. Obvious things would be our high blood pressure, cholesterol, all those kind of things, obviously, from diet, which we already know. But it's really interesting to see how I find like sometimes we forget the skin is an organ, right? So when we're eating certain foods, it totally impacts your skin. I know sugar is a big thing. By eliminating sugar, my skin tends to be a lot better as well. So I think with the combination of the sugar and the dairy, I'm going to notice a big difference in that, and also with my with the bloating and stuff like that from grains. I feel so lean and so energetic over the last couple of days by having it cut out of my diet. And would it be realistic to say that I'm never going to eat grains again? No, and that is not the point of this. The point of this is to reset, and then to even have a plan for you each day to slowly reintroduce certain foods back into your diet. So it tells you to, after your 30 days of cutting the no foods out, the inflammatory foods out of your diet, then you slowly reintroduce them back in, okay? So it tells you exactly how to slowly reintroduce them back in or to quickly reintroduce them back in. They don't recommend that you reintroduce the foods all back in, obviously, and go binge after your 30 days of resetting your body, because for one, it defeats the whole purpose. How are you going to know what actual foods are impacting you maybe negatively? Or you might introduce grains back into your diet and have no problem whatsoever. So it's just really nice to kind of have control over it and pinpoint it and research it yourself. And we're all different. We all have different bodies and different ways that our bodies digest food. So it's nice to know that, right? So like I said, you're paying attention to the foods when you reintroduce them back in, to how you feel when you eat the food. What's your energy like when you're consuming that food? So let's say we're at day 1 following our 30 days. So day 1, you might choose to incorporate grains back in. So what you'll do is you'll eat grains that day, but then for the following 2 days, you're going to go back to the Whole30 way of eating. And then just kind of really think about how you're feeling over those next couple days. Are you super bloated? Are you having indigestion? What other ailments you might have? And make a note of it, okay? Then what you'll do is try a different category of food. Then maybe you'll try some dairy on day 4 and see how the dairy kind of reacts with your body and how you feel after introducing that back in. And then go back to your Whole30 for another 2 days after that as well. Obviously, give your body a chance to adjust and see before you introduce all these different things, because you won't know. And it's just a good way. So if you're doing this, it's not ideal to do it before a vacation. I'm doing it before I go to visit my sister. So it will take a little bit more diligence for sure, but I feel like I'm fairly strong when it comes to that. This is not for somebody, oh my god, sorry guys. This is not for somebody who, really, really, really struggles with not eating takeout every single day. I wouldn't encourage you to jump right into this. I would encourage something else, like following the 21-day fix, portion control containers and things like that, to start eating healthier and clean foods, and portions and those kind of things. That's a great introductory thing. And this is not a diet. This is not an alternative to the portion control either, because that can get really confusing. You might be thinking, oh, are you not doing Beachbody? Like, yeah, I'm still doing my workouts. I'm still doing everything. I'm just investigating everything that I'm eating. And maybe I can kind of pinpoint why I'm having certain ailments that I'm having. And I'm still incorporating my Shakeology. It says actually specifically in the book, the Visalis, Shakeology, protein shakes, all these different things, not to have them because it mentally triggers not eating the food. They want you to get used to eating food, which I don't have any problem with, but it's just a non-negotiable in my diet now. I've had them for 2 years and it's not something that I'm willing to do without. I love how it makes me feel and everything like that. So that's not going to change. Other than that, the other exceptions that I'm making is I'm cutting it a little bit short. Again, this is my journey. I'm not saying that I'm doing it perfectly or anything like that. I'm just sharing it with you guys. Maybe some of you guys are interested and you want to kind of do it too and you want support through it or whatever. Maybe you have some conditions or different medical things that you're looking at, really trying to pinpoint with your diet. So what I'm doing is cutting it a little bit shorter so that when I go on vacation, I can have a glass of wine. And that will be my first day to kind of introduce it back in, see how I react to it. I know alcohol does not help either. I love red wine. Drink too much red wine, In the summertime, beer is a big thing. So again, just by being aware of it and seeing how my body reacts to it, it makes you realize why you're drinking or eating something. And then it makes you question, why would I introduce that back in? And at how much quantity am I going to introduce that back into my diet? So I might choose to only incorporate wine back into my diet once a week. 1 glass once a week, right? As opposed to, we won't get into that. But it's just a great way to investigate what you're doing, okay? Don't do it if you're interested into doing it. Don't do it for weight loss. Many people have done it and they've lost minimal pounds and felt so pissed off because they did this for the 30 days and lost 4 pounds or something. I'd be pissed too if I was doing it for weight loss, right? Like, do the 21-day fix with the portion control and lose 15 pounds. But it's just that you need to realize the purpose of it and find out your reason for doing it and why you're going to do it, because your reason could be totally different from my reason, right? So yeah, you're eliminating things from your diet completely, which sounds really scary. I was really, really scared when I started to read this, and I thought, first off, hell no. There's no way you're going to get me to do this because I need to have this, I need to have this, I love this, oh my gosh, how can I do without that? Peanut butter, what the hell? What's wrong with my natural peanut butter? I don't understand why it's hurting you. Yeah, I kind of got a little defensive, but you can have almond butter. So there's other alternatives to things that you can have, and it tells you exactly what you can, what you can't have. But what else can I tell you? It's so interesting to read up about it. I know there's so many people who have heartburn and acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, all these digestive issues that this really could help you tap into and understand what's causing it. What are your trigger foods and things like that that you could potentially decrease or eliminate completely from your diet, right? So it's really interesting. No sugar at all. Even stevia. So this is what I was really confused about, and I thought, why not the natural sweeteners? Why not a little bit of honey or, things that are actual, natural, whole? But any sweeteners are prohibited from the plan because it tricks your brain into craving sweet things, right? So it does make sense. It's just like having the paleo cupcake, like I said, and you could put your sweetener into that, put stevia into that, and sure, it's a healthier version, totally. And yeah, I'm totally going to make something down the road and eat something like that, but for this experiment to study and understand how your body responds to it and to get that emotional connection away from food, you're not to introduce anything else sweet or artificial sweetener, because all it does is connect your brain to the sugar again. So you're just going to associate then stevia with the sugar sweet thing to you. Your brain doesn't freaking care that it's stevia. Your brain is still like, sweet. I love sweet. So you need to eliminate those artificial sweeteners and any additional sweeteners whatsoever. You can have sugar that is naturally occurring into fruit juice if you want to use that to sweeten something. But very minimal, don't go overboard with that. And you're also allowed to have fruit too. As for portions, there is no portions. You actually eat when you're hungry as much and as often as you want when you're hungry, as long as you stick to these guidelines and rules and recommendations and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. There's a lot of information in here. And, I'm just kind of repeating everything that I said, and it kind of repeats it over and over again too. There's certain things not to have, which I already talked about. And the main thing that it repeats over and over and over again is that this is not hard. And I thought, yeah, okay, I think this is going to be a little tricky even for me, and I've been eating fairly good for a while. It's not hard. They relate it to losing a loved one or, battling cancer or something like that. That stuff is hard. Drinking your coffee black as opposed to having sugar or cream or milk in it is not hard. So it kind of puts things in perspective, but at the same time, it'll be challenging, right? So anyway, with that being said, that's it. If you want to be part of this journey and join me in it, if you're just curious about it, let me know. Like, it has nothing to do with my Beachbody whatsoever. It's just a personal journey that I'm on to kind of get to the bottom of a few things and just see how I feel over the stages of it and stuff. So I'm really excited to get started with it. Very nervous, and it should be pretty interesting. So thanks for watching. Feel free to tag anybody that you think may be interested in this, or if you want to share the video, you're more than welcome to share it as well. And I'll keep you guys updated with my journey starting Friday. Bye.